This conference will
Sharing my
now be
screen.
recorded.
All right, so you guys should see my screen. And okay, so I've been trying TradingWise Trend Spider recently, so I'm still playing around with this charting tool. It's pretty clean, and I like it. Let's see. All right, so what we'll do today is, we'll look at futures. We'll look at the coming, this week, how the market is going to act. We'll also answer some chart requests, and we'll also answer some trading Q&A. Okay, so the futures are looking good. We are up like 36 points, which is almost at 200 moving average on daily. The blue line is your 200 moving average. That's 3,000, 3,007. So this can be a stalling area. If this clears, we get to 3,025, 3,027. So this is the next area which I'm looking at, 31, 36. So, okay, let's actually look at the weeklies. Yep, this is the spot I'm looking at, 3,025, 3,027, which was all-time highs around July of last year, and it stalled and pulled back, and then headed up towards the November, October, November, December, right? So that's when we hit 3,397. So expect some pullback around 3025, 3027. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the fibs, you draw it to 21,974. Let's actually get you a clear screen. Sorry, let's do this. Let's actually. All right. So if you look at this, we are above 61.8 fibs, and 78.6 is 3135, 3136, which is what is also the long tail, the selling area, 3137, 3136 on March of this year. And if you guys remember my chart that I posted on eFortune Trading, mentioning that we are likelihood we would see what do you say 31, 36 area. It was posted in April, and I talked about this, retweeted it this weekend. Let me just share that. I'm trying to figure out where that is. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure that chart that I talked about. Never mind. Okay. I think let's. Yeah. So this is the one I was talking about, posted in April, and I've been talking about 78.6 fib, so which also coincides with this long tail. So expect 31, 36 to happen, but it's not going to be straight up. We should see in 30, 25, 27, and then base and pull back and back to the 200 moving average. Okay. So if you look at SPX, we have similar thing with SPX as well. If you look at composite, Nasdaq composite, look at this. It's way above 200 moving average. This is 50, 200 is here. It's way above, right? But when you compare that with SPX, $200 is just here, right? So look at Nasdaq, 200 in Nasdaq is 84.90 something, right? So we are way above. So we know that Nasdaq is pretty strong. So Russell is another one that's actually the weakest among all the indices. It's way below. And yeah, so there are a lot of resistance here. And I'm looking at, when you look at the weeklies, you'll notice there's a lot of resistance. So this is one of the resistance line, which just cleared on last week. And the next one would be way up, which is this red 1396. So expect this to go hit 1400 and pull back after that. Okay, so we can see 1396, 1400 this week, which is another 40, 50 points, 40, 45 points, and then pull back, which would also coincide with SPX 3025 to 3027. Okay, but if Russell clears 200 moving average, which is around 1480, and closes above that, let's say 1500, then that will be change in the sentiment. So we'll go back into this zone, which is this range which has been there since 2018 of October until 2020 February, right? That's when the COVID situation happened and it dropped. So there's a likelihood that we would get into this range, which is 1460 area in coming weeks. But yeah, I think once we get there, and if we can base, then we can go back to the highs. If not, we'll pull back. Okay. And if you also look at the retracements, you'll see 61.8 is around 1430 and 1555 is 78.6. So, but when you compare that to SPX, this just cleared 50%. SPX is like almost, it's about 61.8. Okay. All right, so that's with indices. Let's go to the watch list. Yeah, I was looking at, this is much clearer, right? So if you look at the trend spider, it tells you, so these are the resistance area on SPX that I'm looking, and it's about to clear this and get to the 1327 area, 2527. All right, let's move to the watch list. So UVXY, to look at the daily, and we are right now heading towards 200 moving average, which is 28 something. I wish there was a way I can. Okay, yeah, we're moving towards the 200 moving average, which is 28, 29 area. So UVXY is right now is basing here. It's been holding the support, which is also 100 moving average and multiple support candles. So watch 34 to 33.75 to break, and if that breaks, we get to 31.50 and then 29 area. So which will coincide with SPX and everything. If you look at WIX, the fear index, it's weak. Clearly, it's heading towards 26, and then below that, we would get to 25, 24 area. Okay, this is a strong support area. You see this that I marked with white box. That's a pretty strong area. This is the spot I'll start looking at long UVXY, long WIX, or short SPX. Okay, that's with WIX. Looking at Netflix, Netflix is weak. It broke this trend line support, and on daily, on weekly, on last Thursday, I think on 21st May, and then it tested 21 moving average and it just broke below it. Okay, so 432.50 is important next week. If we can get above 435 and close above it, then we'll bounce back to 442, 445, and probably even 450. But if we sell below 429, we are heading towards 423, which is the old 52-week, old highs. To look at the monthlies, this is the 420, 423. This is the old highs. We get below that this month, because monthly candle is going to come in another week. So if we close below that, Netflix is heading towards the 386 area. Okay, so it's going to be a good shot. Just keep an eye on this. Because this week is a short week, 4 days, so don't expect too much of volume. But yeah, keep in mind that 423 is a very important area, or 411 is a very important area. So these two get breached, 386 happens, we can play longer dated puts easily. Okay. On a weekly, it broke this support. Okay. The last week highs, it's I would say it's bearish engulfing. So look at this pattern. Let me just remove this. This is a bearish engulfing pattern. Okay. You have high, last week you went above 455, created new highs and reversed and closed, came to lows below of last week, which is 427.27. We just touched it. If we close below it, then it would have been the perfect bearish engulfing pattern, but this is still a bearish engulfing pattern. So 423 is pretty crucial area this week. We close below that, 411 happens, and then we are heading to 386, 393, 386. Okay, so Netflix is a short because businesses are opening up, people are stepping out, so expect less and less people to be at home, stay at home and watch Netflix. So Netflix is a short. Moving on to now, I'm bullish on now. Now it looks pretty good on weekly. 389 is a very important number, right? So next week, which is Tuesday, tomorrow, we close about 389 on a daily close, or 395. This is heading higher, a lot higher. I have numbers at 478. Okay, but let's look at 39. So let's look at daily. Let's see if we can get any other closer number. So if I'll do 388, this. So yeah, so the next number is 411, 410, 411, and then above that 450. Okay, so now has a lot of room upside, and back test. If it fails to clear 395, we can get to 376 and probably to old highs, which is 363. Okay, so I'm bullish on now. The good way to play this is buy like a month or two out calls, scale into the position, buy like say 50%, clear 395, lock some at 395, lock some profits at 400, and then 411, and then ride it to 450, some of it. And if it dips, you can add it at 377, which is, sorry, 373. You can add at 373. And if it dips further, you can add at 363. So the best way to utilize, buying time is this. This is how you can stay in a trade and, create the range. Okay. Just wanted to add that. So now it's done. Let's talk about URI. We did good with United Rentals. It's looking at this pattern. It's been forming. It's been consolidating last week after the Monday gap up. It's a beautiful bullish setup. It held a gap. I'm bullish on this, and it closed about 200 moving average, right? 130. So this is bullish. So tomorrow we clear 133. This is heading to 138 and likely to this gap here, 150.8. So we'll look for some plays on URI. We did really good last week, so let's focus on URI again. Any downside is as long as it holds this gap and also the lows of last week, which is 124.50, it's long. Okay, so URI is bullish. Also note it came to 61.8 fibs and it stalled there. Look at this. This is 61.8, right? It came 3 weeks ago. It hit that spot, pulled back. Last week it hit. So third attempt is next week. We clear 133. This is going to run. 131, 133. This is going to run. So 131, 133 is what I would take it. So 133 clears. We go to 138, clean shot, 144, and then the low of the gap fill at 150.8. So I'm bullish on URI. You guys should have seen about, I talked about the wheat stock, marijuana stock. So MJ is the ETF for the wheat stock. I posted on Twitter. Let me just go back to that. I posted on Twitter about that stock. So let's see. Recently, I posted about the wheat ETF, talking about that I'm pretty bullish across different time frames. So let's look at this long, weekly, and monthly, right? If you look at this, it broke this long trend line. This is a trend reversal, okay? when it breaks this trend line, it's a trend reversal. Why? Because it's been since 2019 of March. So monthly is much better. Look at this. This is basically tells you that this is bottomed here. So I'm bullish on wheat stocks. This is bottomed here. So the next spot on ETFs is 14.38. It clears, it gets to $17. Okay, $17, $16, $17 is likelihood that I would see on this. Okay, now what are the stocks on this? Tilray is one of them. So if you look at Tilray, look at monthlies. The reason I'm looking at monthly is because we are going to be forming a monthly flag candle. And look at this. Last on March, the low was at 243. On April, low was 550. So it's higher highs. And in May, the lows are 665 again. So I'm bullish on Tilray. It's heading towards 15.6 on monthly basis, which is also close to 16-ish. So there's another 50% move on Tilray, which from here. Okay. So looking at weeklies, this is going to be a stalling point, 1160, right? It's also, look at this. It just cleared this resistance. Okay. So I'm bullish on wheat stocks. So this is going to $16, and then $18. So there's another 50% move left on Tilray. If you go at Cron, this is another one. It's much better than Tilray. Look at this. It's cleared 21 moving average on weekly. So anything that clears above, it's above 670. So 670, as long as it holds that spot, it's heading to 770, and then it has room to $9, $8.89, which is also coincides with this 50 moving average. So 200 moving average is this 670 area, $7. Okay. CGC. This is the CGC. It's trying to clear this. So it's trying to clear this monthly resistance trend line. So 20.5. If we close May about 20.5, which is right now it's at 19.5. So let's put a alert. Let's say at 20.3. If it closes in May about 20.5, this is heading to $24. Okay, this is the next resistance area. Okay, so this is heading to $24, and about this you have 26 and into $29. So wheat stocks are pretty bullish. The way to trade them is, go buy the stock because it's cheap, or you can buy 6 months out call options and scale in. Don't just go all in. Okay, BYND, I'm bullish on BYND as well. Look at this monthly chart on BYND. Beautiful, right? Let's ignore this. This is BYND, right? BYND, I'm bullish on BYND. It broke this trend line. It broke this range. The volume was almost twice. Actually, yeah, almost twice. We still have time. We have 1 week left for the monthly candles. So it should be like, 2 times the volume. The next spot is 150 on monthly. Then we have, it opens up to 169, 172 area, and 184. So monthly, I'm bullish on it. Weekly, I'm bullish on BYND. It's nothing but inside week. So 2 times high of this would be a breakout. So watch for 135 hold and 147.50 to clear. It clears that, we head towards this 150, 160 mark, 161. Okay. So BYND is pretty bullish. If you look at daily, nothing but consolidating, and it's holding. So expect this, and this is also a bull flag. So on a daily, look at this. This is a bull flag. Okay. So on daily, this is a bull flag. So expect this to move higher. Doji on Friday. So we get any confirmation above 139.50 close, we are heading to 145, 147 easily. Okay. So that's with BYND. Chewy, we have been in this play since last Sunday. I posted the trade. We got in on Monday. Look at this beautiful 2 day high breakout, right? And on with volume 3.9, 3.85 compared to 1 buy. So it's twice the volume, but 2-day breakout. So now if we clear this 43 area, this has room to 40, 43, 44 is key. We clear that, we get to 45. Anything above that is 46, 47.50. Above 47.50, we're getting to 53, 55 area. Okay. So the earnings for QE is June 9th. Okay. So which is basically 2 more weeks. If you look at this, you have almost 2 weeks, right? It's like this week, 1, 2. Yeah. So expect this to go higher. I'm expecting a 45 handle this week. Sorry, $45 this week, 45, 46. And then following week, it should probably pull back to 43, 42 area, stall around that. And then earnings, it might just take out 47.50 and run to 53, 55. Okay, so I'm bullish on Chewy. We have a play on that. Moving on to the next one, Wayfair. I posted a chart on this. Let's see. I just posted 2 days ago. Actually, I'll show it in Trend Spider. Let's try that. So this will give you a much clearer picture. So look at this. Wayfair. Let's look at monthly. Monthly, it broke this trend line. All right. Okay, so it broke this trend line, went higher on volume, and now it's stalled at the old highs, which is 166, 174. 174 is the old highs, and so 166, and then that's when it dipped. So it closed last week around that, and 174 is the next spot. We cleared this. It has nothing until 197. Okay, so look at daily. It's a flag pattern, right? A wedge pattern, flag, depends how you draw it. It's clear that it's a doji almost, and then confirmation on Friday. So expect a move to 168, 175, 174, 175, which coincides with the old highs, which is this. Okay, once we clear this, it's heading to 197, 200. So now I understand a lot of people I posted on Twitter talking about that they are not bullish on Wayfair because the business and fundamentals and everything. It doesn't matter. Let's follow the technicals. Look at the news. They've been benefiting. So the key area is it needs to hold 150 and 165 in this week. Due to the short week, I expect that likelihood it would hold and it will bounce up. Okay. So that's Wayfair. Let's see what else. Tesla and Boeing. Okay, let's go to Tesla. Remember last week I talked about Tesla saying that, a lot of people are going to be in Tesla and you can expect some level of choppiness and we're not going to break out easily. It's going to act like how we had work. Work was basically slack, and work we traded and it took 2 weeks before it broke out. So I'm seeing similar thing with Tesla. It's holding this support right now, and here it is forming a nice bullish flag. So it's key to clear 824 and 843. It's very important to clear 824 and 843. If it fails to clear that, we can go back to 796, and also we can see this 763, 760 mark, right? And by then it would actually get a lot of people who are holding long Tesla to get stopped down. So another thing on weekly, it's an inside week. Previous week was inside week, and before that was a doji. So we're yet to see the confirmation. So any gap above 843 or 870 is the best way to, it's basically go long on Tesla. I mean, if we get a gap above 843, it's It's pretty good because I think the gap would just run and we would we would hit 869, 870, and then run towards 900. Okay. Uh, so we have June calls on Tesla. Uh, we hit, I think, 30% or something. We made like $4 last week when we entered. Uh, some of you would have, stopped out, break even. I'm still holding. And because June is long way to go, likelihood I would hold and probably even add just to stay in the trade and see. If not, I would roll up. So if I roll up, I'll certainly I'll post an alert on it. Boeing, I'm bullish on Boeing. All it did is it actually tested this. It took 2 weeks. It tested this 134 level. It broke 2 weeks high or 3 weeks close, whatever way you want to look at it, which is 135.50, and it closed at 137.50. So Boeing, I'm bullish on it. Watch it go to 147. And if it clears 151, we can see 161, 168. So on a monthly, something I wanted to share with you guys. On a monthly, look at this. All Boeing did, it gave in April, it did a doji, and in May, you have a longer tail. That means there have been more buyers than sellers. So if we close above 141 this week, which basically in May, I'm super bullish on Boeing because I think we can head to 150 is the best. If we can get 151 close, that's the best. But 141 is good. We can run to 151, 165. Above that, we are heading towards 190, 200. Okay. So that's Boeing. Did I miss anything else? Nope. Okay. There were a few more stocks I was looking at. Like ROKU is something I have in my watch list, and I talked about it in the Discord last week. And so all ROKU did, it broke out in April with volume, and in May it was basically a failed breakout, right? There was a resistance here on this trend line, 5 times it attempted and it failed. So I'm looking for this to move towards either 90, this lows of this, which is $99, $98, which is $96, $99. So expect this test to happen. Likelihood we can see this week and also head towards 93 if needed. Okay. We hold this in May. We do a test and we close about this $94, $99. I'll start looking at buying some calls. On weekly, this is the support I'm looking at, right? So this is basically where it reversed, $98, $96, $98. This is the support I'm looking at, 96, 98. So if it comes here, we should bounce from here, and bounce from here would get it back to 120, 121, 110, 121. Okay. So ROKU is one of them that I'm looking at. It's in my watch list. We talked about BYND. You are at TWLO. TWLO, I mentioned we are heading towards 218, 224. These are two different fibs across monthlies with different pivot points. But look at this monthly candle, 52 million and 131 million, right? So likelihood we can see like 15, 20 million this week, and this would basically three times volume breakout. Okay. Normally on a week, we would get like 25 million, right? 20, 25, 40. So if we can get another 20 million, this would be 3 times the volume breakout. So TWLO is heading higher. I have 220, 218 and 224. So likelihood next month we can have a little bit of pullback inside week, set it up, and then push this higher further to 300 area, 250, 300. Okay, so that's what TWLO. TDOC, this is holding this weekly support. Expect a move towards 167, 165. This is a key area. If we hold this 165, 167 area, we would bounce up. Okay, but if we fail, we can move possibly towards this 155, 150 area. So TDOC is something that I'm also watching. Keep on watch. Let's look at Apple. Bullish on Apple. It's moving up. Last week was Doji. Last week we got a confirmation. 320 is a breakout, heads towards 325 and 327. So Apple is pretty straightforward. It's looking to make all-time highs. Daily, it's bullish.
Yeah.
So anything above 320, we gap above 320, or if we hold, we get to 320 above close on first hour, we can run to 325, 327.
Okay,
Guys, please mute.
I'm away.
I already watched.
Okay, just go and lay down in the bed. Guys, wait, don't move, Asi. Move, I'm watching something. Don't move, okay. I'm sending you. Don't move.
Who is it? Raghav, can you please mute? Okay. Melly, we had a great lotto last week. We nailed this, and apologize for the too many lines. So I'm bullish on Melly, one of the most bullish. It's heading towards 900s, no doubt about it. We had almost an inside day on Thursday, and then Friday we ripped up on volume. So on a weekly, look at it, Doji previous week and last week was confirmation, right? So we moved up. So this week, any pullback towards, like say it's 840, right? So any pullback towards 806, 827, 806, it's a good place to go long. 827, 806, and 800s, these are good spots to go long. And this is heading towards 900. And NVAX, this came into my radar. I'm bullish on this. There was a news today. So I don't like the weekly candle. So we'll keep an eye on this. 44 is pretty important. Weekly reversal. So if we close below 46 this week, or even 43.60, yeah, $43, then this is heading a lot lower towards this is going to go back to 27, 25, 27.50. Okay, but weekly doesn't look that good. The weekly candle, the daily is holding this support here, and it's a low volume pullback. If you look at this, this is a low volume pullback, right? So any move above $50, this can run to 54 and back to $61. Okay. If you look at, let's do the fibs. Yeah, look at this, 423.6, perfect. It's just almost too perfect. It works, pulls back. So 261.8 is basically 42 something, right? Which also coincides on the weekly, 43 something. So watch for this. And another way to do this, let's look at this. We hold retrace back to, what is this? 61.8 or my bad, let's do this, sorry. The retracement has been, yeah, it's retraced back to 61.8. Okay, so if it holds here, it bounces back up. If not, we can see $43, $41. Okay, and the upside move on this, when we cleared 61.5, I think it has big move up, $77. So let's look at monthly. Look at monthly. So there's a lot of room upside. Yep. So this is what I'm looking at. Monthly 77, which is also the fib resistance, and also this coincides with this resistance, which is here. So hold on, let's do this. So I'm looking at something around here. So this is the spot I'm looking at. So which is $82, okay, which is basically the lows of before it went down, before they dumped it. So 77.82, that's the area I'm looking at on the monthly. So I'm bullish on this. This has huge, look at this accumulation for last 5 months. They've been accumulating a lot. So the best way to play this is, go long on stocks, and you can have, we can give room to look at this. You can go long here tomorrow, buy stocks, and you can have 45, no. Yeah, you can have 40, I would say 40 is a good stop. So you give a $5 room, 5 and potential to make $16. That's pretty good. $5 at 3x, right? And that's what you want to look at. And if you can lock at 61.50 and then ride it to 77.82, so that's basically giving more breather for the stock. All right, so we are 40 minutes into this. We talked about the futures. We talked about the watch list. Now let's get on to some questions. One thing I wanted to point it out. Okay, so guys, when I post these watch list trigger sheet, right, these are basically support resistance numbers, which are used to multiple different, trend lines, indicators, number of different time frames. It's a lot of permutation and combination that I use, and then I provide this support and resistance values, right? Above means resistance, below is support. How do you use this? Now, apart from the trade alerts that I post, if we are using we have a trade which is has support resistance here, you can use those to lock your profits. You need to learn to manage your own trades. Okay, I provide target zones. Target zones are good to exit, but you need to be flexible. Where what I mean by that is, in market like these, bounces are not going to be that strong, right? Other than last few weeks, it's been much better, but otherwise the bounces are weak in a bear market. Okay, so use these numbers, lock profits. Don't go for like just 100, 200, 300% multi-baggers, but with your full position on it. Whether lock profits at different spots, look at your risk, look at what is your goal. If you're willing to take a longer risk and you're willing to hold it longer, then, accept if the trade goes against you, okay? So use these to lock profits at different spots. That way you'll be, slowly with small profits, small gains, you'll increase your account and keep some to ride it, keep some in the trade so that you can ride it higher. This way you can use this watch list trigger sheet, okay? And another reason why this is given is, if there are folks who like to day trade, who like to scalp in a group. Now, if you wanna, I can't post all the trades, okay? Because we have like over 10,000 stocks, 10,000 companies, right? But we want to focus on the ones that has higher risk reward ratio, right? And more probability. So we're looking at momentum plays, we're looking at plays that are going to move. Hence, the list is consolidated for week by week, okay? So if you want to day trade, scalp, feel free to use those numbers, buy at the support, and see where's the next resistance points, and you can lock profits around those, okay? That's how you can learn and, become smarter in terms of if you want to do more trading and you want to have more trades. But also remember, the key goal is not to overtrade, okay? So that's with the watch list trigger sheet. So a lot of you are, struggling and not taking profits. Take profits. It's important, okay? And I always tell you guys these rules that, take profits around resistance or target zones that are provided. Use the watch list, print it out or write it down. Have, if I'm giving you a certain watch list, you can probably just pick few of those and just trade the entire week on those only, okay? Apart from, or just trade the trade alerts that I post. But don't end up over trading, because over trading kills it, and then you end up, making loss. So don't do that. Even if you do 2 or 3 trades a week, it's still much better, because that way you can actually make bigger profits. You can focus on them. I apologize for the airplanes with too many notes. Okay, so let's go to the chart. Let's see. Okay. let's see. What is a trading system composed of? Can you give an example for example point? Each point, how to use volume and etc. How do we know what is buying volume or selling volume? Is buy and control or selling? So I talked about the watchlist trigger sheet. So I use volume. A lot of people don't use volume. They just use the price action. I believe that volume is the fuel to move the stock. That basically tells you there are more buyers or sellers depending on where the trend is. So that's how I use it. I'll talk about the charts on PM and AMD later. Let me just make the note here. PM, AMD. Let's move. Okay, Splunk, AMT, ESTC. Man, that's too many. AYX, ABT, Baba. When does the squeeze happen? Sometimes you imagine when a level big, the next one happens so fast. Good question. So a squeeze can happen on heavy volume. So if you see heavy volume in a smaller time frame, then that basically will tell you that a squeeze is going to happen, right? Also, it breaks a particular pattern, a bull flag or a wedge pattern. That's when you need to look at it. Now there are another way to look at squeeze happening is you have multiple pivot areas or multiple resistance points. If those get cleared, right, that's where you draw the trend line. If those get cleared on volume or on a gap up, then a squeeze will happen pretty fast because a lot of people will start jumping into it. And more volatile stocks like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, you can expect buys to jump in pretty fast. Can you give me ideas if it is reasonable to generate income of? Yes. So most important thing in trading is trade management. Okay, you need to manage your overall account. You need to manage your overall trades. Okay, it's very important. That's a lot of people fail. Why? Because you actually end up having too many trades, or you're not able to manage those too many trades. So you want to make consistent income. Everything you can do it as long as you define your risk before you enter the trade. Know what you're willing to lose if the trade goes against you, and you're going to have losing trades. Okay, the key is to reduce your loss on a losing trade. Okay, if I'm giving a particular support resistance, you don't like that because I'm using a hourly or 4-hour time frame based on a trade, then you can use 15 minutes or 30 minutes support closing candle or resistance closing candle. Okay, so yes, you can generate way more than that. Not just 0.5 or 1%, but it's all based on how you do the trade management. Okay, we have Marvel. I was looking at Marvel the other day. It's pretty bullish. Box. Okay. Disney. Yeah, I'm bullish on Disney. Do I buy for same week extension a month when it gets? Okay, SK. So now that depends on you, right? So if you are not comfortable with buying same week expiration when I post a trade alert, then buy a week out or buy a month out. Look at your journal. Look at your trading system. I've given you a trading system. I've given you TW rules. Fine tune them to your personality. If you like holding a particular trade longer, or if you like, having a bigger risk and you're okay with losing that, then, you can just do weeklies. But if you want more, if you're the kind of person who feels more comfortable and don't want to be watching or monitoring every minute of the tick, then buy time. Buying time helps you stay in the trade longer in case of any pullback, or in case of things don't work that particular day and it doesn't move next day. So that way, so buy time. That's pretty helpful. Before you became a pro, how much time did you spend every day with? Well, I don't think I consider myself as pro, but I've spent probably I would say 8 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours charting a day. Yeah, anywhere between 4 to 6 hours a day. And weekends I would do even more. So yeah, I mean, you need to keep, learning the patterns, go back to the charts and look at the old patterns and keep a note of it and see how they act during those patterns, right? So that's how you'll become better and better. So I don't provide the levels on how I calculate the fibs because, it's just different. It's just what I use. And I don't have it on a document, or it's just in my mind because when I'm looking at a chart, I do multiple different calculations and I just draw the fibs based on different time frames. So yeah. NVDA, ZWMT, SK, again, the fibs, you guys need to go back, Google, search how fibs can be used, learn about that. I don't teach fibs. I don't teach, basics of, trading or anything, but all I'll do is like help you guys out in this journey to understand how to trade well, how to become a better trader, how to do risk management, position sizing, all these things so that you can actually become a much better trader and have a consistent revenue. Use anything like, well, I don't use Ichimoku, Bollinger Band, MACD. I don't use it that much. It's just in my smaller time frame. I have Bollinger Band left and MACD as well. I solely use William percentage R. I use UVXY, VIX, VXX as the real-time indicators with respect to the market. I use trend line support resistance, candlestick patterns. That's pretty much. And moving average, which is just there. Yeah. Should we start a 20K, 50K challenge, maybe 60, and we talk all the trees along? I don't do challenges because, again, and it depends on how people manage it. If people are not going to manage their trades well, it's going to backfire. It doesn't matter, no matter. So if you want to, if you want to do a challenge, you can start the challenge by yourself and use the trades that I post. So one of the best advice I'll give you guys is have multiple different accounts. Okay, if you're doing leap or longer dated, like 6 months out calls or something, or calls, puts, whatever it is, right? Options, then have a different account. You're doing trading wiser alerts, have a different account. You're following 5, 10 different people and you're doing their trades, have a different account. Okay, what happens is it will help you get some clarity when you have multiple different brokerage accounts. The advantage is you're designed each brokerage account for a specific style of trading. One is used for swing trading, one you use for day trading or scalping, one you use for trading only stocks. Or this way you'll start seeing how different styles or different system works, and you'll see which one you can stick around longer. All right, so I think that's pretty much the questions you guys have. I'll just go through these list of charts. Let's look at PM. I like the daily. So I like the daily. It's bullish. It broke this trend. It's doji with long tails. So this is moving towards $72, $71, $72. No doubt about this. That's another dollar or two. Let's look at weekly. Just going to clear these so you get more clarity. Yeah, so weekly is inside week. So any close above 72.50 this week, we can run to 74.50, and then above 74.50 we have above 75. Basically, I would say we have 78. So it's bullish on daily and weekly. It's not the kind of stock I trade, but yeah, I think, and it's 50% retracement looks likely. So we should see 72, 50, 73, and probably towards 77 in coming weeks, 77, 78. Yep. So PM looks that. Let's go to AMD. I'm bullish on AMD. Yep. It's been holding this trend line. It's doji last week. So best way to go long is above 58. I'd say 58, 59. If we get that close, I'd say 58, 59, 50. If we get that close, it's good spot to go long. Or you can go long above 57 and peel some off at 59 and then ride rest at 61, and then we have 75 upside. So AMD is bullish on monthly. Yep, monthly it's bullish as well. It's inside month. Note this. So I don't think we'll close above 58.60 this month. Likelihood will be inside month. So 59 is bullish. Close above 59.50 in June is pretty bullish. We'll run to 74.50. So AMD, I'm bullish. It looks pretty good. Going to Splunk. They had a earnings last week. Look at the volume, 37, 33. So last week, not bad. It's about this volume. So any pullback to 176 and a close above it is bullish. So we can go long on that spot, right? So I would say, let's put a alert just below that, just above that. So 176.31 is the old highs. So we can watch 185.50, 185 this week. If we clear this right away, oh sorry, that's monthly. Yeah. If we clear this right away, we'll run up. If not, I'm expecting a pullback to this. Yep, we can see a pullback to 115. We'll see a pullback to 176 if that breaks 159. So month, and it has moved to, look at this. I mean, the weekly coincide with my old fibs. It has moved towards 229. So I'm bullish on Splunk. It's pretty good. So monthly, it broke 3 months. It broke what, 1, 2. Yeah, I think it broke last 2 months and everything. So let's see how many months it took. So it broke the range from November 2019. It kept trailing around 153 and it broke that range. So yeah, likelihood we'll see 176 test this month. If we can have that, that will be pretty good for next month. If not, it heads towards 200 and 229. That's what I'm looking at. Splunk, AMT. I know someone talked about this last week. I think it was Theta. So let's look at AMT. So I'm bullish on AMT. Looks pretty good. 242 is pretty important number. It's been multiple level resistance. So if we clear, and it's also 78.6 fibs. So if we clear this, 260 happens. Anything about 260, this has moved towards 300. So AMT is bullish. Looking at weekly, 243.50 is a good way to go high. So I have an alert at 243 and 243.50. So if we clear this, we head towards 255 and 260. So this is bullish on weekly as well. On daily, it broke this pattern, broke this flag. So it's a volume breakout. Look at it, 1.2 and 2.8. So twice the volume we broke out. So anything about 243 next week is good for 251 and 260 area. ESTC. Let's go on monthly. Yeah, okay. So 161.8, it's been since the IPO. It made the highs after IPO, and that's around 88, 89. So it's not able to clear this. So the best way to play this stock, one, it's cleared monthly here. Okay, so it broke the downtrend, and it broke on not a bad volume. So I would watch for 89 close. We get 89 close, 87, 89. This is moving towards 9600. So AST is bullish. Doji, and we got confirmation last week on volume. Daily is also good. Doji and confirmation on volume. So 84, 88. So 87, 89 is the possibility upside and then pull back. So it should digest around that before it makes the next move up into 90s and 100s. Okay. HC is bullish. It's bullish engulfing, I think. Yep, it's bullish engulfing on, not on volume, but not bad. So watch this resistance here. All right, watch this. We clear 80, we clear 81, 80, 81. We can get back to all-time highs. I don't like this weekly bearish engulfing candle. It was on heavy volume. So watch next week. This week, if we can run to 73.50 again, or we'll just have an inside week, and then following week we can either pull back below 73.50 towards 68 or move up to 88. So that's how I would look at HC. AYX is clear. It's heading towards 160. Yep. So 150.5 is your trigger. Clears that. It's head towards. So I'll put a trigger here. 150. Clears this. It heads towards 160. It's pretty straightforward. Bullish on daily, bullish on monthly. This has a lot of room. 209. That's my old fibs. So it has room towards 200 plus. It's bullish on weekly. So yeah, AYX 160 is coming. Habit. I like this. So it's a long tail. Previous support held, and look at this, 4 weeks of back test, and it held. So any close above 93.50 is going to, and this weekly close 93.50 is very important. So if you can get 93.50 on the weekly close, this is heading higher. We can see 96 and 100. That's where Abbott is going. Doji on monthly. So I'm bullish on monthly as well. This has room to 106, which is another $15. I don't remember the last time I traded Baba. So let's look at Baba. So Baba. So Baba has been holding this support all along for months. And it's forming a flag formation here. So I expect it to, next month we can close anywhere between 220 and 185. So I think it will take another month. Probably we get a range, and then we break either up or down based on the news and everything. So there's a trade war news that's going around. So yeah, I would expect Baba to stall next month. On weekly, it's pretty bullish, no doubt about it. But look at this. Last week it sold off on almost more than 50% of the volume. So yeah, watch. The next move is 190. If 190 should hold and it should bounce up. The good thing is, so 196 and 190 are the next spot. So watch Baba. 196 is this area, and 190. So it should hold this and then head back up. So that's why I said that it most likely it can stay within the range 221 unless you get a good news or the trade war deals are resolved. Then we'll make all-time highs. Marvel broke out last week on volume. It's good. This is good. Let's look at daily. Yeah, I wouldn't chase here, but it broke out last week. It hit 30. 33 is next on Marvel. Anything below that, we can go back to 28. 28 is also all-time highs, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yep, 28.86. So 28.86 is all-time highs, which happened in Jan. So watch Marvel. So if you want an entry, expect a back test of this next month or this month, and you can go long. IRBT. We traded this last earnings, not this. 73. So it's 200 moving average of hitting that on weekly. Expect a week or two of stalling here. Once it clears this 75, and then it runs to $90, 85, 87, and $90. So yeah, it's extended on daily. So it's heading towards 75, no doubt. And after 75, it should probably pull back. Likely that you can see a pullback. The gap is here 87, 89, which should likely happen in coming weeks or months. Yep, it should be a stalling point. Yeah, so 75 looks likely and then pull back. So that's what I'm looking at. IRBT. So 75, 77 area. This is a 50% retracement, and look at this: 1 failure, 2 failure, 3, then support 1, 2, failed support. So there are like multiple support resistance points here, almost like 5 to 10. So I would say 75, 77, and then 87. Those are the spots you can see. Box. I like box. This looks good on monthly. Monthly always gives you a better view. Yep, it's breaking out of the downtrend line. So I like box. This is pretty bullish. Yep. So I would say if we get around 18, if it comes back to 18 or 17 dollars, 16.50 to 18 dollars is a good spot to go long. This is heading towards this resistance area, which is 20. Yep, 2021. So it's heading towards this 2021. So that's $2 more. And then once it should consolidate here and then break this out to $25, which is $24, $25. So I'll look at box at that. Weekly, it cleared 200 moving average. Earnings is 27th. Looking at daily, yeah. So it's already made the move for the earnings. I think $21 close near that, and good earnings and guidance, it can run up. So $21 possible. If good earnings beat, 25 can happen. So that's what I would look at. Box. Disney. This is the spot I'm looking at on Disney, which is also the 200 on weeklies. Sorry, 50 on weeklies. It's about 200, so it's gapping about. So long above 121, move towards 133, 135. So yeah, long above 121, 122. So Disney is bullish. So Disney is heading towards 130. On daily, it's bullish on daily as well. It's forming a flag. Look at this. So 121, 122 clears, 128 and 134 happens. So Disney is bullish. I like Disney. NVDA is not the place we should chase NVDA. NVDA is running to 400. It's pretty straightforward. Consolidated after the move, gap up. It's holding up nicely. Any close above 364, it's running to 400. So NVDA is pretty straightforward. Let's see if there's any fruits on the smaller time frame. Yeah, so it can go to 376 and then 400. So yeah, NVIDIA is heading to 364 clears, 376 and 400. So that's where NVIDIA is heading. Z is coming to the old flips, 57.30, which is 78.6. Last time it came here in May 8th, a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, sorry. It stalled. So watch this to base. If it clears that, it runs up. It's also weekly resistance. Like there's two supports. Resistance here failed. Resistance here failed. Resistance here failed. And resistance here failed. Right? So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 failed spots. So, but it's looking good. Expect this to push 57.50 on weekly close. If that happens, it runs to 61 and 67. So that's how I would trade C. Walmart. I don't like this candle now. Daily. Yeah, Walmart was for a move towards 122. If 125.50 doesn't clear, 126, sorry, it's 126.50 doesn't clear, Walmart is heading towards 122. So these are the spots I would watch. Okay, and a better stocks out. Work, bullish on work. Work has earnings on June 4th. Work is pretty straightforward. Remember, it's a cup and inverse head and shoulders, right? So 32, 50 clears, 34, 35, 38, and 42. Above 42, work has moved towards 50. So work has earnings on June 4th. So good way to look at it is downside 28.50, 28.50, 29.50 needs to hold, and 30.50. So as long as it holds the downside, I'm bullish on work. And 25.50, I would be more bullish. If work gets 25.50 in next week, going into earnings, that's pretty good. It's a good play, good risk reward for long side. Piton, inside week last week, so 49.50. So 50 clears, it's long above 50 or long above 48 and short below 42. So that's how I would look at Piton. It's holding the support. Anything above 48, you can go long. Anything below 44, this can go back to 40 and gap fill at 39.26. That's a good spot to go long as well. Last one in VTA. Looking at the weeklies. So let's look at monthlies. Yeah, it's inside month for NVTA. So the best way to play this is long about 21. Until that happens, I wouldn't go long. I would wait till it goes long. Anything below 14.8 runs to $13, and anything below that goes to 10. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any. All right, guys. Thank you, SK. CVS is the last one I'll look, and then we'll call it for the day. So, yeah, monthly is inside month and dual inside month. So anything above 67 on CVS is a long. It can run to 72 easily. So that's how I would look at CVS. And yep, anything above that. So until then, I would just wait. It's a no man's on a monthly base. On daily, yeah, it's holding the 78.6. It's holding the 61.8. So yeah, I think CVS is pretty straightforward. Anything above this 67, it's a long, and it goes to 72, 75. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. Let's actually, what do you say?